Okay, so we're working on Space Invaders. We have some very basic functionality now where we can move our shooter back and forth. I think at this point what I'd like to do is a little lesson on getting the graphics that you want for your, or the images that you want for your actor. So I'm going to go ahead and Google, let's say, like free Space Invaders icons or something, or sprites. Sometimes that's a good one to use. I'll click on images here, and this is actually a nice feature of Google that I just found out about a little while ago. If you go into search tools and pick type, you can get, color. You can pick transparent. And what transparent images are those ones that, well, you'll know if you didn't pick a transparent image because the, like this white square will move around the screen instead of the, having it be nice and the way you want it. So here, this looks kind of cool. I think this is kind of the guy that I want, because this looks like my shooter. So I'm gonna, let's see, let me just click on this guy, and let me visit the page because sometimes I'll have. All right, so it shows. So this is the ping file. This is the 48 by 48, the 32 by 32, blah blah blah. Let's see. So this looks pretty much like what I want. I notice I'm going to go up one step because this is just one character, right? And I had all those other characters. So let me go up one step and see if I can get some more here. So this has, let's see. Okay, so it looks like this has a set of Pac-Man and Space Invader icons. And what I'm looking for, even though I'm on a Mac, it's really not the ICNS files that I want. I want the ping files. So basically for Greenfoot, you're going to want, and Java generally, the best ones are ping, GIF, or JPEG. So this has some ping files. And ping are the ones that let you do the, well, yeah, you do transparency with GIFs too, but okay, let's download this, and so now I have these classic game thingies, and so there's the ICO ones. So that's a special Windows format we're not going to play with. Ping, like I said, ping, GIF, and JPEG will play nicely on different platforms. So. And then this, we have these numbers here. So let's see. So if I look at 24, looks like that. 32 looks like that. Let's go 512. 512 looks like that. So it looks like the numbers have to do with the resolution. And depending on the look you're going for, you might want to choose, a different one. You might want to go real old school and pick the old 24 one, or be real smooth. I'll take the 512. I like the way those look. And what I'll do is, for now, because I might decide to muck with these and I want to save the originals, I'm just going to copy these 5 items over to my let's see, my Space Invaders images. Ooh, you know what? Before I do that, I'm gonna save this as version 3. So Space Invaders version 3, save. All right. So now I'm going to go to my version 3, and that's where I'm going to stick my images. So I'm going to say edit, paste those 5 items. Okay, so now this is almost what I want, but not exactly, right? Because the bullet, I don't want it moving back and forth with the bullet sticking up. I want the bullet and the shooter to be separate, right? So we can open up preview, and let's just let's see, we can crop this guy. Just trying to get it to be like a reasonable. Let's see. Oh, I see. 40. Oh, 500 by what? Can I make it 500 by 330? Okay. And then if I need to move that over at all. Okay, it looks like it's centered in that rectangle. So now, let me pick the crop tool, or you can just say Command K. And let's see, I want to save that. Oh, I'm going to duplicate that. Let's do it that way. Duplicate as, let's just call that shooter.ping. Save that. And then for this one, I'm going to undo the cropping. And I'm going to get the bullet too, because I know I'm going to need the bullet at some point. So let's do this. And let's see, can I make it like 40? Yeah, 40 by 144. That's pretty, like a pretty even number, seems like. And okay, so I'm going to crop that and duplicate this. And there are different characters that have bullets. So I'm going to call this a shooter bullet. Ping. And undo that crop and just leave that. So that way I still have my original Space Invaders ping, but now I also have my shooter and my shooter bullet. Okay, so those are now right here, shooter and shooter bullet. Okay. So now let's change this guy's image. Set image to shooter. Yoink. And if I recompile, oh, what happened? Whoa. Well, first of all, this guy's way too big. And the other thing is he's pointing in the wrong direction, right? Well, let's see. So the 270, remember the 270 worked when the image was initially pointing in the wrong direction, but our image is starting out the way we want it, so we don't have to set rotation anymore. So that's one thing we can fix. What about the size of this guy? Well, we could reduce the size of the image by playing around with that, or we can scale it directly in Greenfoot. Let's look at the scaling options in Greenfoot here. So Greenfoot class documentation. If we look at a Greenfoot image, scale, what does scale do? Okay, so we have the scale with height, scales this image to a new size. So this gives us the width of the image and the height of the image. All right, so we can set the image to be whatever size we want it to be. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what size it is right now. So if we click on shooter right here, it doesn't give me the dimensions. Let me see, maybe I need to do like a get info or something. Get info. Should I give it to me any place? Oh, more info maybe? Last opened, preview. Not seeing the size. The reason let's do this. Let's copy it. The only thing that concerns me about using the scale in Greenfoot is if I don't know what the original dimensions are, I could scale it in some funky way, like I could make it too skinny or too fat. So let me try to, I'll put, like maybe make this shooter dash original, say. Even though it's a copy. But I want to mess with this one in preview to make it a more reasonable size. So let's see, if I go to tools and say adjust size, this allows me to adjust like by pixels, by percent, by whatever, right? So I could make it, and if I say scale proportionally, this is what I was concerned about before. If you change the width, you want to change the height by the same amount, or by the same percent. Okay, so if I make it half the size, now it's 250 by 165. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's smaller. So let's see now if we go recompile this. That looks a little better, but really it's still kind of too big, isn't it? So let's try again. Let's go to tools and adjust size. Let's see, what is it in pixels right now? 250 by 165. So if we I think what I want to do is divide it by 5, because then that'll give me, because both of these 250 and 165 are divisible by 5. If I make this 50, that'll be 33. That's going to be way too small. Well, is it? Let's see. Let's see what that looks like. So if that's saved. That might be about right. That might be about right. So again, like I said, you can play with these, whatever you think, but looks like I divided it by 10 basically, because I divided by 2 and then I divided by 5. So let me try that with that same thing with the bullet. I'm just wondering if while I'm at it, since I have my ratios figured out, I'm going to call it shooter bullet because those other guys are going to have bullets too. And I want slightly different behavior out of my shooter bullet. Set image to shooter bullet ping. I put this guy on the screen. Yeah, way too big, right? So what if I divide that image by 10? Let's see. So I'm going to duplicate this. I like to keep copies of the originals just in case if I mess something up. Then I can fix it later. So shooter bullet. Oh yeah, this is the one I want. Tools, adjust size, and I scaled it by dividing by 10, didn't I? If I make it 10% of the original, let's see what that looks like. Pretty tiny. That might be what I want. Let's see. Yeah, that might be what I want. And again, you know, you can play around with these and decide what works best for you. But let me just make sure this runs. Yeah. And notice because it's transparent, there's like no white square around here or anything because we purposely picked a transparent ping from when we Googled it.